Okay, I want to show you how you can trade multiple accounts, at least with Apex. I haven't tried it yet with other prop firms, because I do know that they can put in their own settings. And not all Tradovate settings are the same with all prop firms, but I've tested it with Apex and it works. There are a lot of quirks that are different than other copy trade software, but usually you have to pay for it. And I guess the good thing with this one is that it's just built in. But I'll show you what the quirks are and what you have to pay attention to. But first you have to log in, of course, in your Tradovate dashboard, and you will see all your accounts there. In this case, I don't have that many. I have my accounts here. I've covered them up, but you have to first go to Manage Group. I'll click on that. Normally you won't see that because this is the group that I created. So you go to Manage Groups. And when you do that, you see this window, and first you give it a name. So you click on the plus button, you give it a name, and then here you see your accounts again. And what you will do is put in the ratio that you want. Keep in mind though, it's not able to do 1/2 or something, or 1/4. The minimum that it can do is 1, so everything else has to be greater than 1 if you want some accounts to have a larger order size. For example, in this case, I want to have one backup account that I don't trade much, but I would still want to be able to profit from my trades if I have a good day with the others. But I wanted a smaller size, so I have 1 on one of those accounts, and the others have 2. But this can be any number. You could have 10 to 1, you know. So you could trade, for example, 10 micros, the equivalent of 1 mini, and those would go to these accounts, and then you put in a 1 here. And then you only have 1 micro to be traded on this account. So this could be an account that you keep for longer, that you don't try to pass in just 7 or 10 days or whatever. But this one is just more of a backup. In my case, I have 2 to 1. That was for me okay. But that does mean that you always have to trade at least 2 contracts. And it can be micros or minis, but you always have to trade whatever you put in these boxes. So if you do put in 10, the minimum you can trade is 10 contracts. So in my case, it's 2 accounts have 2 and 1 has 1. You have to add them up, because after you're done, you click on save. And be sure, because this is a mistake that I made. I was just trading and nothing happened. It didn't get copied, because I still had one of my other accounts selected. But you do have to specifically click on this group button that you've just created, and when it shows that check mark, it means that you're trading the group. And what I just said, you had to count the numbers that you had in these accounts. You have to add them all up, because that's the minimum amount that you have to put in your order size. Because unfortunately, you cannot just trade whatever you want for one account and then it copies it to the other. No, you trade the group. So the moment that you even try to trade, let's say I make it 1 here, because it will give an error. So I put in 1 contract here, and you'll see an error. Total order quantity should be a multiple of 5, and this would be a different number if you had, let's say, 4 accounts and all accounts were just 1. Then this would say it has to be a multiple of 4. So it will be a multiple of all of these accounts combined times the number that you put in there. So that is a bit of a downside. It's a little bit of mental work. You just have to remember what you actually want to trade, because if you put in this number here, so I do put in 5, remember, you're not actually trading 5 contracts on one account. In this case, 2 contracts will be to, let's say, account A, 2 contracts will go to account B in my case, and then 1 contract will go to account C. So it is a little bit, not so intuitive. Plus, with Tradovate, you cannot have any custom settings here. This always defaults back to whatever they've put in here. So if you need a different number, so maybe you had, let's say, 9 accounts and you all have them just 1-to-1. There's no ratio. They all have a 1-to-1. You would want 9 as a minimum, right? Or maybe 18 if you want to trade 2 contracts on each of those accounts. But 9 would have to be the minimum. But there's no way to save it here. So you would have to type in 9 and then you'd have to put in your order. And the next time that you open this, I think it does remember it from the last time, but otherwise you have to manually put it in. Another very big, in my opinion, downside is you can use bracket orders. So bracket orders are to set a stop loss and a profit target and your order all in once, and you could save a couple templates here. I think most people probably know, but I have some some templates based on the different instruments that I trade, but you cannot select any. You have to click on off, and only then you can trade. So you have to manually, in my case, I have to do a multiple of 5. So let's say I actually want to trade 5 contracts on the biggest account. So I had 2 accounts like that, so that would be 10. But then the other account would be the half of 5, and it cannot do that, right? You cannot do 12 and a half. So that is a bit of a downside. So the minimum that I could do is like a multiple of 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. That's, in my case, with my particular settings, those are the only things that I could trade. So I have to put in, let's say 5. Let's say I want to sell here. I don't, but now it puts it in. And then I also have to manually put my my profit target here. And let's say one gets hit, but then I also have to, of course, put in stop loss. So let's say I want stop loss here, buy stop. So if I have all of those set and one is hit, it doesn't remove the others. I have a video how you can do that on TradingView, also using Tradovate. If you just logged into TradingView with your Tradovate credentials, I show you a method in my video. I put it on the screen how you can easily trade with brackets in TradingView. But unfortunately, if you do that in TradingView, you cannot select this group that you have created. So you actually have to trade here in this Tradovate, either the web app or there's a Windows download that you can do. But it's pretty much just like the web app. And then you have to make sure that you're either always watching your screen and the charts, or you have to just put some alerts, because these orders, they're just going to sit there. I think you probably have a setting here. Okay, here, I think a day. So they're going to sit there till the day ends. But if it, hits that order when you don't even want it, when your stop loss, for example, has been hit, that's a problem. So you have to manually close all those orders that you don't use, or click on exit at market. That's one option. You have a couple other options, but if you do the one at the top, exit at market and close, it closes both your order and it exits all the other orders. So yeah, that's a couple downsides, but I think it's still nice that it's at least included. You don't need an additional programs like with NinjaTrader. And yeah, so this way you can still trade multiple accounts, at least on Apex, and I will have a look if you can do it on other prop firms. But that's it for now. So hopefully this helps you out, and if you liked it, give the video a like. That helps the algo, and catch you later.